Go right ahead, Brother Farrakhan.
It's on here. It's delayed.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you, my brother?
I'm good, brother. How are you, my big brother?
I'm your little brother servant. I'm honored to be a part of your show, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Nation of Islam and the Executive Council for allowing us this privilege to be presented to our people and all those who might hear as a representative of the teachings and the program and the principles of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We refer to Elijah Muhammad as the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam. My God, what must he know? And who is he that he would be the eternal leader? When we truly understand, Brother Eddie, what is written in the Bible, Quran, of this man that is called Jesus, and this man that is called Muhammad, and the title of Mahdi and Messiah, these titles are so big because the work that God assigns to the Mahdi or the Christ figure is so great that it represents eternal governance. In the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter, the 6th verse, it says, "For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father, and of the increase of his government of peace there shall be no end." We are at the end of Satan's world. We are at the end of a world of hatred and corruption and debauchery and filth and rebellion to the way and life and law of God. We always think of law as something that confines us, and it does. But Jesus represented law at the highest manifestation when he said, "Love God first." And that is the first cardinal principle of the Executive Council and the members of the Nation of Islam. We love Allah, God, first, with all, listen to this, all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. We pledge allegiance to nothing or no one but God. We respect the flag of the nation in which we live. We honor that flag, and we honor the independent people who are the former slave masters of our fathers. But we do not wish to govern as they govern. We do not wish to govern and guide our people as white America would make us and has made us into themselves. Jesus did not want his disciples to reflect the governance of Rome or the hypocrisy of the rabbinical class of the Jewish people of his day. Neither do we. We don't want to look like the enemy in ruling our people. We don't want to be like the enemy in the way he rules, nor do we want to act as though we own the house of God. If it is God's house, it should be governed in according to God's rule and law. So the second commandment, he said, love your neighbor as yourself. On these two hang all the law and the prophets. So this is who the Nation of Islam is. We are not like the average church. We believe that Christ is real. And Christ is, in his function, the crusher of wickedness. He comes at the end of the world of Satan. He comes at the end of the present world to introduce a new world and to set down the corrupt governments and people of this world. This is why war and destruction is on the horizon, because this got to end. It's got to be finished. The lying, the deceiving, the hypocrisy has got to end. And in the Nation of Islam, everyone that you heard this morning on this executive council that I have personally chosen. Oh, you did? Yes. I was personally chosen by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because in me he heard himself. He heard his message coming through me clearly, not adding to or taking away from, like this is some personal fiefdom of Louis Farrakhan. I am an extension of Elijah Muhammad, who we believe is the Jesus that every one of us have fallen in love with and have wanted to live under Jesus and follow Jesus and be made into Jesus, so that each one of us who follow Jesus become saviors under his saving grace and power. So everyone that you heard this morning, thank you, Eddie Reed. We have committed our lives to the Messiah, to the Mahdi, to God in person. We live his life. That is what a disciple is. We can't say we're disciples of Jesus Christ and we have not disciplined ourselves to what he taught and the example of his life. This is why I don't mean to run on, Eddie, but I just want to finish this point, and then you may ask me a question as you see fit. This point is this. Jesus taught how to govern at the Last Supper. Man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth from the mouth of God. Jesus spoke what God commanded him to speak. Jesus did what God commanded him to do. He's the perfect example of leadership, because he does not lead on his own. He leads by God's grace and permission. So it was, and so it is with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So people say, well, you got to have one man. You can't have a group of people. Yeah, the group of people is one. Allah uses the term we in the Holy Quran more than he uses the personal pronoun I. And until we learn our responsibility as Muslims or Christians is not to talk about I, talk about we in the submission to the will of God. And so what you met this morning were men and women. You didn't meet their staffs. They came to me, some of them as teenagers. I'm an old man now, by the grace of God. And these are getting old that you heard today. They're in their 40s and 50s and 60s. So, they're up in age, but they are rooted in the law and teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why I chose them to be on his council, so that he is on the council. I represent him. And whenever I stand in front of that council, they can look at me and look past me and see and feel the spirit of the man I represent, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, a man taught by God and wisdom revealed to him from God that was kept from the wise and the prudent men of this world and revealed unto babes. And we are the babes that have been blessed to receive the wisdom, guidance, and love, perfect love of God. And this is what we represent, Brother Eddie. So I ask all of these that will accept to help me. I want to know what you think about Elijah Muhammad. I want to know how deep are you committed to the word and the work that that man has taught us. Because I have submitted myself totally to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I can say to them like Jesus said to Philip, when Philip said, Master, when will we see the Father? And Jesus said to Philip, have not I been among you this long, and you have not seen him? When you see me, you see the Father. For I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Me and my Father are one. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to me long before he left us, I want your mind. I want you to line your mind up with my mind, that it will be one mind. And my mind is lined up with his mind today. And when you see me, when you hear me, you hear him, you see him. Nothing is Lewis. Everything is Elijah. Everything is Jesus. Everything is Mahdi. Because that's who I represent.
Brother,
So, beloved, thank you.
No, thank you
for allowing me this privilege.
Thank you, my dear brother. And let me just say this to you. First of all, happy anniversary of your 89th birth on May 11th, and we can see why Allah has kept you here. I would suggest to you, you're not an old man, you're a seasoned man. And
I like that word.
there's
I
a
like that word, Brother Eddie.
there's a difference, brother. There's a difference
Oh,
between
yes.
being seasoned and being old. Brother, what say you to what's going on in the village now? And we have some of our brothers out there. I know this brother, and I'll just say this, people gonna get mad, but I see Brother Tyrone Muhammad and ACCSC. I see others out there. And what say you about anyone who's out there that you see doing the work? But more importantly, what do you say to our young brothers and to the men? It was an honor to be with you years ago when you went around the country on the men's tour. What say you to the village, my dear brother?
In the village, there are those who have studied of some of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some of them learned of him in prison, and they disciplined themselves according to their understanding of his teachings. And some of us are difficult to mold and shape in terms of following structure, disciplining our lives to structured living. Some may call it slavery. But that's a misunderstanding of Islam. A man is not a Muslim. A woman is not a Muslim until we submit our will to do the will of God. So when you are one with God, that's how he comes into your life. That's how you become one with him. But you got to submit first. Everybody wants a page set out for them. Everybody wants to be the boss. Everybody wants the love that belongs to God. Everybody wants to share the praise that belongs to God. But when you know God and he shares with you his greatness, then you must never show yourself to be an arrogant man or what we call in the Quran the jackass carrying a book. The jackass is a jackass, but you can load him down with books. But when he gets to the destination, he's still a jackass because he has not learned how to read and refuses to discipline himself to the master teacher. And when we fall out, we still got knowledge and we're responsible. The brothers out there that have knowledge, you have responsibility to teach what you know, but you should live according to what you teach. Otherwise, you can be classified as a hypocrite.
My. 7735.
I live what I teach. I die and I live on what I teach. That's why people know, Farrakhan, I will never sell you out. I don't care what the world does to me. If it kills me tomorrow, I will die an honorable death that I never deceived my brothers and sisters or lied to them about anything when it comes to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I'm committed to this. And I say to those in the village, do your job. Teach the people what you know, but don't teach them to use them. Don't teach them to abuse them. Don't teach them to fatten your wallet and then do nothing in service to the whole. Do you know, Eddie, all the buildings that we had that were lost when the Imam Warithuddin Muhammad took over the nation. Everything that Elijah Muhammad built went in that direction. I started with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have his files or letters that he wrote to the many people that he taught all over the world to be guided from. Nobody that was his secretary that took notes from him came and said, Brother Farrakhan, here, let me share this with you. No. I had a few faithful ones from Elijah Muhammad, but most of the students are dead or in the street, but they're not helping me.
773-591-1690. Now, let me give you some instructions, family. The executive producer staff is going to screen your calls. Those of you who want to make a comment or you want to ask a question, be succinct and be specific. We don't get access to our big brother very often. I don't know when he has been. It's been quite some time, Brother Minister, all the way back to our brother Cliff Kelly, since you've been on this radio station. And it's an honor to chop it up with you, as the young people say. And
it's true.
Yes, sir.
My teacher don't want me to be arguing with our people.
That's right, brother.
I have lived in front of you all these years and have taught for all these years. And I don't come on the radio to argue with you.
That's right.
I will not disrespect you or myself by arguing with you. So I don't come on the radio anymore. I have taught you well by the grace of God. Millions of words now are out there for us to feed on. So I want to see now a new generation rise in that word, and they're coming up fast. Every one of these that you heard, including Brother Student Minister Ishmael, he's got a cadre of young ministers, male and female, studying now and growing in the study. And so soon you will see them, soon you will hear them, and you will hear Elijah coming through them all, or they won't speak at all. I did not live my life and offer my life for wicked, corrupt people to come to me and say they want to help me, but they really want to help themselves and use my teacher's name to deceive the people. I will not have that, and we will not have that.
Brother
so
Minister,
I'll take a few questions.
Go right ahead, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Minister. My name is Brother Arthur 6X. I met with you once or twice. You came to the Pioneer Building. Me and my brother had a studio in the Pioneer Building and a hardware store. And you named my son because he was born on the 5th of October. My question to you, do you think that we need a universal community code of conduct to help govern our community internally that all parties involved can agree on?
Yes, we do need a universal code of conduct. One day, dear brother, I was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he said, brother, what's the best religion? I said, why would he ask me a question like that? He's teaching me Islam. I didn't know what to answer, so I just said Islam. He didn't say yay, he didn't say nay, but here's what he said. The best religion is that you do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. If you look deep into that principle, which is called the golden rule in Christianity, and it exists in Islam, that you love for your brother what you love for yourself. You're not a Muslim until that is deep in your heart. If we accept to treat each other like we want to be treated, that universal code of conduct will guide our behavior, and our communities will change overnight into a productive community where you won't see the violence that you see. You won't see the hatred that you see. You won't see the debauchery that you see. But we must accept the will of God.
Brother Minister, we have Sister Anita. Sister Anita, who has been screened by the producer. Sister Anita, what say you?
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. Minister Farrakhan, I did not know you was going to be on this radio. I thought this was a recording. I am so excited behind all the things that's happened, in the last few days. But my family, I married into a family that was actually in the Nation of Islam. They were the ones with the Omar on the Nile. So the Omar family. Yeah, I'm really excited about all of this. But what I want to ask you is, I keep hearing a conversation about you and the Jewish community. And I called WOL radio in Washington, D.C. last week, and I asked one of your head chief of your paper, I think that's what he was, and I was like, well, why do the Jewish community say that Minister Farrakhan is anti-Semitic when Abraham said you're supposed to submit to God, have obedience, and not sacrifice your children? And that's all you and Elijah Muhammad has ever taught was take care of your own. You're not to be mistreated. You are a slave only to God. So I'm trying to figure out I'm furious with the Jewish community for putting you silent, muting you, when you believe in the same God that they believe in. And I think you practice it very well. So what do you think about that?
Thank you, sister.
Well, thank you. I want to say this. No, we don't believe in the same God. That was the problem with the Jews 2,000 years ago and Jesus. They came to Jesus saying that God was their father. And Jesus said, well, if God were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. But now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth. I know you. You are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you shall do. He was a liar from the beginning and a murderer. We don't have the same God, nor do we have the same Father. If they showed us the love that they were taught by the prophets, we wouldn't have a problem. But the wiser ones of them used a knowledge that they came up with and tried to make the Talmud like the Torah. And in that, they deviated, and in that deviation, they have become the Lord and master of their own way of life and civilization. I have never hated Jews, never. And I don't hate them today, but if you come to me wrong,
that's right.
Don't expect me to be the Negro that scratches when he doesn't itch. I will deal with you according to the way you deal with me.
Yes, sir, brother.
That is my teaching from my father, Elijah Muhammad. I have Jews that have come and sat at my table, and I have sat at theirs. And the head of the board of rabbis, former head of the board of rabbis, said these words to me, Rabbi Shalman. He said, Farrakhan, it's not for you to criticize us. That's for me to do, not you. I said, my God, you mean to tell me if you've done wrong to me and my people, but I don't have a right to show you where you are wrong then you call me an anti-Semite? No, I'm going to tell you who you are. You are anti-God, anti-truth, anti-justice, anti-equity, and you hate me because I expose you for the devil that you are.
Brother, we're going to go now to Brother Michael Muhammad. Brother Michael Muhammad, what say you?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Brother Minister. Good morning, brother. Brother Minister, I just have a question. I thank you so much for being a leader and a guide for me in my life. And I've been a member of the Nation of Islam, but I'm not in the ranks right now. My question to you will be, what guidance and instructions would you share with me and others that are, have the truth that you teach from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to make our way back inside the fold and to be helpful with the work of the Nation of Islam as we move forward?
Dear brother, you must look at what you've been taught. If what you've been taught is the truth, you are responsible for that truth that you know, that truth that you accepted, and you can be judged by that truth that you have accepted, but do not now wish to live. You cannot be a good example to your people if you say the right thing and yet do the wrong thing. You have power, dear brother, to bring your life into accord with what you know of the teachings. What you know is what you're responsible for. What you believe is what you're responsible for. And if you talk to the people out there who don't know anything of it, then talk to them as their brother. Teach them what you know, and then ask them to pardon you if you are not living as you teach. But you hope to get your life back together. And remember, wherever you are in the ranks. You can never come out of the nation and say, you're not in the mosque, but you have never left the nation. You're in the nation, and you must behave as a creature of the Creator. We are the Creator's nation. So we've got to act in a certain way. We've got to live a certain way. And that's a sacrifice that you and I have to make in submission to the will of God. And you can do it. All you have to do is make up your mind that I'm not going to live like I used to live or live like I am living if I'm living contrary to the truth that I know. I'm going to make a change. And all of us have that right to make a change. And that change will benefit your family, your friends, and the entire community by the grace of God.
Brother Minister, you have spent a lot of time through the years, and have two questions here. You spent a lot of time through the years speaking to our young people all over the country and all over the world. And I remember you bringing in the room some of the young people that people were either frightened of or ran away from. And so my two-part question is your message to the young that's out there today and to the family, to the Black family that seems to be under attack on so many levels. What say you, Brother Minister?
Thank you, Brother Eddie. Please excuse the passion of my voice. I haven't been on the radio in a long time, and I'm just so passionate over what I believe. I don't mean to offend anyone, but listen, my dear brother. Our youth are struggling against forces that are trying to shape them into instruments of death against themselves and the rise of their people. They are not the responsible party. They are the victims of smart, crooked deceivers who bring drugs into our community and cause our young people to sell them. Bring guns into our community and promote gang conflict and rejoice when we kill one another as we seem to be loving to do. I say this to our young. You will be punished today by God, who came to save us and make us love each other and be real, genuine brothers and sisters to one another. But if we're going to harm each other, kill each other, rape each other, rob each other, there's a chastisement that God is going to bring on you. And you'll know when you get it, you'll understand why you can't sleep at night. And when night comes, you wish for day. And when day comes, you wish for night. You'll be in constant misery. You'll want death, but death will run away from you because God is punishing you for what you know you did wrong, and then you refuse to change when the offer of change is given to you. So to my beloved young brothers, the enemy has fashioned you into an instrument of death. God wants to fashion you into an instrument of life that you can protect yourself against death and protect your people in the community from the death that comes from our ignorance and lack of love for self.
And to our family, brother?
Now, the family, oh, my family, you're all arguing with each other. Women arguing with the men, men arguing with the women. We're all at odds with each other. We're trying to show ourselves as not needing one another. Women today are so hurt over their relationship with men that has gone sour. And some women today said, to heck with it, I don't need a man in my life. I don't need him for sexual purposes. I can buy instruments to help me. I don't need you. But brothers and sisters, we are created by God to need one another. We are created by God to complement each other's nature. The woman is not the same as the man. The man is not the same as the woman. But when the woman is the woman of God and the man is the man of God, that man and that woman solve their problems, create peace among themselves. I've been married to my wife's mother, Khadijah, for 68 long years. And I knew her when she was 8 and I was 11. And this is the honest to God truth. I love this girl so much that when I became so popular as a young musician in Boston, all the girls loved their Jean, what they called me, and they loved me. But I was in love with Betsy.
Go ahead, brother.
And so they liked me, and I liked them too. But when they see me with Betsy. They see me walking with Betsy. They see us dressing alike, walking in a way. When I say dress alike, I didn't put on no dress.
We know that, brother. We know that.
But dressing alike, if I had on blue, my wife would have blue slacks and a white blouse, and I would have a white shirt or whatnot. And we had the same caps that I bought in Canada when I was playing up in Rockhead's Paradise in Montreal. And we were just a loving couple to be seen. Everybody wants to see love. And when two people are deeply in love and they walk down the street,
That's right.
you could be behind the curtain. You pull that curtain aside and look at them, look at them. Love is what we want to see. Love is what we got to be. I had a talk with Stevie the other day. He wished me happy birthday. And I said, Stevie, you're not of this world. Every time I hear you, you're talking about love. Every time you write a song, you're writing about love. And love is God himself. When you love, God is with you, not in a strange and wicked way, but love in the way that God loves. He gave you a nature. Be yourself. He gave you a sex. Learn to love who you are. And then be you. Because you know what? Everything that God created, he created everything in pairs. I didn't know this until I read it in the Holy Quran. Grass is created in pairs. Every grass, not the same. There's a female grass and a male grass. I didn't know that. So grass keeps coming up. Every winter grass dies, but every spring, here it comes again. Why? Because the grass love each other. They know their function, and they taking care of function in business. You know, you look at the bees. I love bees. I don't want to be stung by them, but I love bees. And bees love each other. So when we see bees pollinate flowers. Bees pollinate plants and give us food. So nature has a purpose. And when we violate nature, we violate ourselves and we violate God. I want to be a good man. And I told my brother that's sitting here with me one day, I was riding in an old BMW. And he said, Minister, you've got such nice cars. Why you like to drive in this car? I said, brother, I don't want to be grand. I want to be good. I don't want you loving me because of a grand car that I drive or grand shoe that I wear. So I refuse now to wear jewelry. I don't want you looking at what's on my finger. I don't want you looking at, I want you to see me, of course. And if you see me looking good, praise be to God. But I want you to look at me and how I live. Look at how God has blessed me in the midst of the storm to weather the storms of life and the storms created by the enemy of our life. I am hated, but yet I am loved.
Brother
and
Minister,
so beloved. Yes.
The clock says we've got to go. And I hear you today saying love and humility. And I remember you coming to see Brother Lou Palmer in that 2-seater Mercedes-Benz. You just get in that and come to see our brother and sit with him. And I've joked with you through the years about being the sixth man on the bench while the brothers in the nation are the starting five. We love you. We honor you. We respect you. We appreciate you. And please, can we get you back to the mic again soon?
I'm going to pray on it. But I think, in truth, God has helped me to prepare such wonderful young people that are well versed
Yes.
in the teachings, and they're building their character to match the word. And what would please me so much is if you invite them. That's why when Brother Leonard said, well, Eddie's inviting us to be on his show, will you speak? I said, I'll speak after the council speaks.
Yes.
Because they are now the representative of God and the messenger and myself. And I'm so happy that I've been able, by God's grace, to form Jesus, to form the Christ in them. And that's why they, like I can say, greater is he that is in me, than he that is in the world. So the world can't bother me. The world can say anything ugly they want to say. I just keep on keeping on. And thank you, Eddie, for continuing to lift up Lou and Georgia Palmer. Thank you for lifting up the people that had made it possible for us to be here today. Thank you for remembering the ancestors. And young people and family members, remember the ancestors. And when you think about what they went through for us to be here today, if you love them enough, you'll make them proud of your every word, of your every deed. I love you all. And Eddie Reed, I love you most of all because you loved us and shared your love. And, of course, WVON. Thank you, WVON, for allowing us the privilege of being with you this morning.
Well, I love you, brother.
I love you, too,
I love
sir.
you, and Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right, family. We've run out of time. That was awesome, as it usually is, to hear from our brother who has been in the vineyard. This is not a man you have to look for. This man has been very, very strongly and very, very obvious in our village. And we will get those young people to the mic. I talked to Brother Leonard on Saturday about men of the movement. We hear of the mothers of the movement, but the men of the movement. Black men, this is our season and our time. All right, we're out of here, family. Thank you.
I'm Candace McCollum, and here are your news headlines.